A very good afternoon to you wherever you are in the world, and we are set for another amazing week here at the Winter Equestrian Festival. Well, the sun is shining behind us as we'd hoped to be here in Florida, and it's a massive week in terms of teams because it is Nations Cup. It's time for the countries to all do battle. 9 teams competing this year. We're also going to be reviewing last week's exciting Lugano Grand Prix with a doubled up win there too. It's lots of top class action here from Wellington. Welcome to WEF Weekly. Welcome to the Winter Equestrian Festival and very much into the heart of this season right now. Loads of big competition coming up, and this week it is all about the teams. And thanks to our sponsor this week, it is Florida Coast Equipment. And then if you're looking for the best after you've tried the rest, it's the Florida Coast Equipment, your trusted local dealer of choice. Explore their lineup of powerful tractors, versatile RTVs and agile zero-turn mowers designed for small farms, landscaping, arenas and more. You can visit them and enjoy the equestrian journey. Happy riding, as they say, from Florida Coast Equipment. Thank you to them. And also, of course, our presenting sponsors of our streams throughout the whole of the season here for the Winter Equestrian Festival, including Dodd Technologies, your partner in engineering extraordinary experiences since 1983, and discover how they elevate sports, entertainment and corporate events at doddtechnologies.com. And this in conjunction too with the USEF, the presenting sponsor of our live stream throughout the season, in part with the support of the US Equestrian Federation and the USEF network as well. So an amazing week behind us last week with the Lugano Grand Prix, and not just that, but it was Nations Cup action too for dressage as well, and of course all the rings here in action for the big competitions from the Winter Equestrian Festival. So let's take a look at a few of the big winners throughout the week. The top 3 into the Lugano Grand Prix, and an exciting lineup with Lily Keenan into 3rd place there onto the podium. We'll give you a full rundown of that in just a few moments time. In 2nd place for Dara Kenny in the end, so the Irish hanging on in there with Eddie Blue for a fast finish, riding the horse the road to win the London World Cup back in December as well, and Dara staying on hot form here in a warm Florida as well, building up nicely through what's been an exciting season. And of course the Grand Prix, $500,000 on the plate last week. And who took home the win? Well, for a 2nd time this season, it was Kent Farrington and Greer, again showing their amazing form. Last time off, beating Christian Kukuk, and this time a second's difference as Kent Farrington gets ahead for another big win. 2 from 2 from our 5-star Grand Prix so far this season. In dressage, it was Germany that dominated in the team competition, and also individually as well in the freestyle there, with Evelyn Egger finishing top of the freestyle, and continuing an amazing week. As you can see, their technical marks and artistic marks, 71 up to 82 in there, and a superb season under lights as well. And in the 2-star competition last week as well, it was a fast showdown on the Sunday afternoon, but it was Great Britain's Grace Debney and Jesui HS that held off the rest for a tight win with a chasing finish to what was another big week completed here in the international arena as well. So that's just a little bit of a touch of what went on here last week here in Wellington. Lots of exciting runs down there and some big wins, but now we turn our attention to team competition, and I'm delighted to say joining me representing through the teams that are big players here this week as well. Team coach is Robert Ridland, the man in charge of the squad. Robert, always a big week for you.
Always, yeah. It's a home Nations Cup. There's always pressure, as we all know, at home. They pride themselves. I got a girl team that's girl power this week, and they want to make sure that they finish ahead of these 2 to my left.
Canada and Ireland represented. Erynn Ballard, Canadian Olympian. Erynn, looking forward. Canada have been the top of the podium here in the last few years as well.
Yeah, we're always looking for a podium finish, specifically a win. It's a new team this year, maybe not a new team of riders because it's Amy, Tiffany and I with Kyle Tim, but you're going to start to see a new team of horses. We're coming into a new cycle. And the horses that have carried us through championships and the Olympics, it's maybe not their time anymore at the highest level, and we've got to start building for the next 4 years.
We're looking towards LA 28, which is near your home ground from that point. Daniel, Team Ireland. You've been on the podium here again last year as well. It was the Irish on top of the podium there too. It's been a big year for the Irish so far. How are you feeling about your squad?
Very good, actually. We have a very strong team this week. Again, actually, they've been dominating the sport this year like I've never seen. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We have some new horses on the team, like Bertram has a new horse and Michael's horse on the team. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And looking forward to a big clash on to Saturday. Well, let's just reflect very quickly on to last Saturday as well with the Lugano Grand Prix. Like I say, raised up to a $500,000 Grand Prix this time around. And Kent Farrington, I mentioned the winner there. Robert, 2 Grand Prix wins now, back-to-back in the 5 stars. He also won a World Cup in Thermal just a few weeks ago. The good thing is he's on your side.
Yes.
What did you make of this?
Well, he was just unbeatable. Mare is jumping fantastically. She was with us last year in Europe, won the Le Bowl Grand Prix. That was really her breakout major win, and of course she was on our Olympic team as well. But she was young. Kent was really careful with her, but now he knows her so well. I mean, this is just perfection.
Absolutely, and a real flyer of a finish again. Fantastic showdown. I mean, it has just been unbelievable sport so far. Yeah, just brilliant. So, US get to the top again of the 5-star Grand Prix. The Europeans may have turned up, but you've been beating them so far. Your man's been out there.
Well, yeah. As Daniel pointed out, they've been winning a few Nations Cups. We just came back from Abu Dhabi, and they won everything there. And then you won it all here. I saw the results when we got back, and I'm getting tired of it.
I think that,
we're not.
I think that's called a throwdown. Okay,
but we'll try to get you back at Dublin.
That's fine.
That worked for us last year.
Exactly. Well, US winning in Dublin on home ground. That's got to hurt a little bit.
Well, of course it hurts, but we did pretty good the rest of the year, so we have to give one away is fine.
That's what rivalries are all about.
It is certainly.
I mean, you got the 3 of us, and I mean, traditionally, Canada and U.S. go back decades and decades as a rivalry, and you guys, of course, are big rivals of ours. So that's what sports are all about.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about baseball, it's rivalries, Dodgers, Yankees stuff. So you've got it.
We're looking forward to it.
That's what's so cool about team competition and this team week.
We love the team. Well, let's just reflect with Kent Farrington on his win last week, on his success there, because he's a man who certainly shows his grit under pressure. What did Kent have to say?
I'm proud of what she's doing, and still young, so there's a lot left to do, and looking forward to the future. I think I'm very lucky. I have a couple incredible horses. They've been a long time in the making. I've had them since they were young, and now they're really becoming of age, and I'm very proud that they're showing what they can do. Jump off tonight a little bit different than the other day. 1-2, very tight related distance. She's great at that. She's so fast sprinting across the middle of the ring to the corner and can roll back very short to the oxer at speed. I think that's where I made up a lot of ground. And then to the double, again, incredible effort by the horse to clear B coming out, and her foot speed to the last is second to none. So you can really take a run, and she's so careful. Incredible competitor. Been an evolution of American show jumping sport. I'm really excited about it. I think they're putting a lot of effort into making the sport even better, more spectator friendly, and you're seeing it with the crowds that are coming out. It's great for us as athletes, and it's great promotion for our sport.
Kent loving the big atmosphere, the big crowds here in Wellington. And going back to exactly Robert's point, rivalries. It was Ireland in second place with Dara Kenny. Daniel, let's come over to you for one of your teammates in Dara Kenny. Let's take a little look at Dara's round again. But you guys are not afraid to take the gloves off and get stuck in there.
No, definitely not. I actually think Dara's round was amazing. You know, to be so close to Kent's round on a completely different kind of horse. Kent has a small, fast horse, and Dara's got a big, slower type horse. And he wasn't that far off the pace.
It was about a second.
No, it wasn't. And a second's a lot, but with Kent's round, you say to be within a second, I thought it was pretty good, actually.
It was good stuff from that point of view. Again, as Robert said, you guys have started strongly as well. What's it feel like turning up as part of that sort of lineup now of the Irish here?
Great. I guess the Irish are always pushing the Irish around as much as pushing everybody else around. We're always pushing each other to go as far as we can. But that's great. I think everybody came out this year fresher than even they did last year, and some new horses showing themselves as well. So I look forward to this week, and I'm just glad I can be part of it.
Third place in that lineup as well was Lily Keenan. From that point of view, Erynn, I'm going to let you take this one. She played it really well because she got the double clear in the bag. She let the rest of them go fly at it. Got herself a good place in there. Robert, you're nodding away here. Let's go actually to Robert for you first. I thought she played this well.
Well, where she was in the draw, she absolutely did. That was a smart move, and then make them make a mistake.
Yeah,
which they didn't.
Yeah, for sure. Going so early in the jump off on not the fastest horse, you have a decision to make. It's like a hand of cards. How are you going to play it? She played it to go fast enough that somebody had to run to beat her, but she kept it double clear. So it gave her a podium finish rather than 7th place in a 5-star $500,000 class. That podium finish is pretty special.
Yeah, it was smart riding.
Smart riding, great effort. The horse came out really ready to perform. It was an amazing class, and honestly, the sport right now is so fast. I think it's inspiring.
Yeah.
Being in our backyard against people that we consider our friends and our peers, to watch them ride so fast, it makes you go home and practice harder and go faster, because the reality is that slow isn't going to get you anything anymore.
It'll get you somewhere, but it's not going to get you top of the podium.
You're not going to win.
No.
Yeah.
Robert, let's talk Nations Cup week. As you say, big week for you guys. In terms of team, who are you bringing out this week? We mentioned a ladies' team in there.
Yeah, well, it's running the gamut. We got Natalie that's going to start us off.
Natalie
Actually,
Dean.
she's very familiar. She and her Maricotta, very familiar with Wellington at night. And then we've got Carly Anthony, we've got Charlotte Jacobs, and we've got the veteran Laura Crow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward to that from that point of view.
Yeah.
Going to be an exciting lineup for them to take us through on all of that. So, I mean, as you say, you've got Charlotte Jacobs in there, Laura Crow, Natalie Dean, Carly Anthony. Charlotte's been going so well.
Super.
Yeah.
Super. I mean, they all have. Carly's been going great too.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to, giving the boys' team a run for their money.
Good.
Good. I like the fact that you said there, Daniel, that actually you in terms of the Irish, you push yourselves.
That's no secret. The Irish are always pushing the Irish around, never mind the rest of the world. So, and there are a lot of upsides to that. Not always upsides, but there's for sure a lot of upsides to it. And hopefully on Saturday night we'll be doing the same.
Talk to me about your team this week. Yourself and
Cian O'Connor.
Yes.
Bertram Allen and Michael Duffy, all very, very talented riders. All have won 5-star Grand Prix. So again, that's something amazing. All in different kinds of horses on different stages. I think all 3 guys have jumped their horses here already this year. I have not. And hopefully it'll play into my hands as well, so I come out a little fresher and hopefully can do the job.
Are you the secret weapon then for the Irish?
No. There's no such thing as a secret weapon. Just all weapons, I think, is how we come out. And for sure they're going to try their best, aren't they? I mean,
See, our secret weapon. Daniel said made the mistake about Friday night.
Yes.
If they all show up on Friday night, we got a shot.
Perfect.
That's our weapon.
Send them the invitation.
Yeah.
Canada. Erynn, let's talk about your team from that point of view. You mentioned there in terms of, there's a few familiar names in terms of riders there. There'll be a few less familiar horses coming through. Who's the squad?
It's a new group of horses, certainly for me. My rotation of horses is quite high, being in the situation that I'm in, but we have really high hopes for Izarka, who jumped the first 5-star Grand Prix under the lights, and she is very special, and we want to push her towards being a team horse. Canada did get an invitation to Dublin this year, so we want to be strong there. Tiffany is doing Electrique, who isn't quite as new, but it's her first time on the Nations Cup squad. Amy's doing Jagger HX, first time on the Nations Cup squad, and Kyle Tim is doing Kandar. And if he has jumped Kandar in a Nations Cup, it hasn't been many. So I think that hopefully we're starting to build now, like we said, to LA, We've got seasoned riders.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to call myself a veteran yet, but we're on our way.
Not there yet. No, it keeps getting
Never do
longer.
that.
Keeps getting longer.
You know, Kyle has been sort of in the background coming up, always a strong performer.
And he's been performing really well in Europe, hasn't he?
Yeah, with the support of the Erynn family, he has been very strong in global and making an effort now to come to North America and be a part of our team. And we certainly need him. For sure, Canada doesn't have the same depth as America or Ireland. We are always coming to the same riders. Now we're coming to the same riders with new horses. And we see the growth in the sport and we see the speed in the sport. And certainly my girls, Tiffany and Amy and I, are inspired for the next 4 years. And hopefully we're going to inspire, you know, the riders underneath us to come and play ball. But I'm looking forward to it.
Because you have got some good youth coming through, haven't you?
Yeah, I think that we're quite strong. And you see us sort of in and out every single week making a result somewhere. It doesn't always mean that we're in the 5-star here, but in Ocala, in the 2-star divisions, you're starting to see some big support from the Erynn family, which we have seen, but now with Kyle being their main Canadian rider and actually Cassidy making big moves with the results clean in the 2-star Grand Prix last year. So if you pay attention, there's not always a lot of us, but we're always strong.
Let's have a quick look at who the teams are competing here this week. Let's run down the nations because we've got 9 nations competing here this week as well. Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Great Britain, Ireland, Israel, Mexico, United States and Venezuela all in the mix. Top 8 into round 2. But again, it's always an interesting mix here, Robert, because we then get a lot of the South American countries thrown into the mix.
Absolutely. Yes, we don't want to omit them because we'll end up being the 3 teams at the bottom of the pile if we keep doing that. But if you want to be part of a larger group, you could be our 51st state if you want.
Yeah, it's always possible. It's
I
always
have been
possible.
paying
There we go.
attention.
Yeah.
I think that we proved our point in hockey.
There you go.
Yes, you did. You did.
Canada strong.
Yeah, there we go.
But I also think that night the American president referred to our prime minister as a governor.
There we go.
So
there you go.
It's
Well,
it could happen.
We'll
It
see
could
what
happen.
happens.
But
We'll see what happens.
I've even been scouting potential riders in Greenland, and
Yeah,
just
exactly.
think
All over.
you could have many teammates.
It might be
They're
harder
coming
for us
from all
to get
over.
on some teams.
Robert, to take a serious point from you, I mean, what Erynn's saying there, you have been really strong in developing riders, haven't you? Too. I mean, the Irish have got a huge squad, but you've been really strong in giving people opportunities.
Well, it's been a big part of what we've tried to do for the last basically 3 Olympiads.
Yes.
Is always make sure that, we've been very fortunate to have some amazing, legendary, if you want to say top guns up there. But each Olympics, we've always had a younger rider that we've gone through trial by fire and in Europe and so forth. And it's essential that you don't leave anybody on the curb.
And taking the last 2 Olympic Games, you had Carl Cook in the mix for Paris. You came out with the team silver. Jessica Springsteen in Tokyo for the team silver there as well. As you see, it starts
and
to pay
Lucy
off.
Davis in
Yes.
Rio. It was
Yeah.
one in each one. It's essential.
All coming back with medals.
There you go.
There you go. All coming back with medals. In terms of the other teams in the shake-up, do you, as a team manager, look too much at the other teams, or do you just head down, get on with what your squad is?
Head down.
Yeah.
Head down. There's nothing that you can do other than your own performance.
Yeah.
You can't worry about what they're going to do.
And for you, Canada, Ian Miller, of course, in the mix there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we ride against each other all the time, and Ian's here all the time. Robert comes in and out, so I guess we're at an advantage that we have his influence on him. And I also think, going back to Nations Cup and development, the U.S. and Canada this year have some 3-star and 4-star sort of developing teams, which we haven't had in our backyard. And beginning a 4-year cycle, I think that we should all be really looking forward to that and being thankful that there's going to be opportunity outside of Europe to ride on some teams in Vancouver and Caledon and the 4-star here. Like, you look at the calendar now.
You're going to Traverse City and you've got
and
some.
you have Calgary sort of at the end of the year. So we have 5 Nations Cups in North America to start to build some of these younger riders and give opportunity. And it's not always going to have to be 5-star. And I think that's where you're going to start to see growth, maybe not only in the U.S., but in some Canadian riders and in some South American teams that are based over in North America full-time. So maybe in a year from now, we see a completely different group of riders aiming towards the 4-star Nations Cup in Wellington.
100%. I mean, those 3 stars are going to be so critical. And it sort of follows suit with what the Pan American Games have been. The caliber of competition,
Yes.
Santiago last time and Lima before that, I mean, that's real jumping. And so it's going to trickle down South and North America across the board, which is going to be great for the sport.
Pan Am's very much last time was comparable to European
Absolutely,
championships,
yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much. Daniel, from your point of view, Ireland have been really, a lot of choice of where they've gone with riders. I mean, I don't think any nation has got as many probably 5-star riders to go to.
All the Irish guys are they all, and girls actually. We've got some really good young girl riders at the moment coming through, and I think I wouldn't want Michael Blake's job everywhere.
Or you would, depending on that.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I'm sure he gets asked a lot of times, and people maybe think they're ready and they're not ready, and it's such a hard job to let them grow when they're ready. So, I mean, we're really lucky we've got so many. I'm just really lucky I get to do the bigger sport as well. So I think if we can just keep the ponies coming and keep going to as many Nations Cups as we can, we'll also stick around for a while.
Robert, your role, you and I were discussing beforehand, whether it's chef to keep or really team coach from that point of view. How does it work? Because it is comparable to a lot of other sports when you're thinking of, well, whether it's whatever team you're looking after, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, etc. How do you see your role? For those that don't know, how does it play out?
Well, I would say the chef to keep, which we call a head coach, is equivalent to what an NFL coach would do. It's the overall strategy. That's the umbrella over thing. He's got his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator, special teams, and all that. That's the X's and O's.
Yeah.
We don't need to tell these riders the X's and O's. They come prepared for that. But it's the strategy. So it's the overall strategy. It's which events we're going to go to and what we do when we get there.
I was going to ask, in terms of looking at a season, you guys don't just go, okay, we're 2 weeks away from a Nations
Right.
Cup. Who am I picking?
Right.
How does that process work?
Oh, we're already planning out for the next 5-6 months.
Yeah.
Because with the sport being so global, I mean, just the transportation and the logistics of putting it all together, you can't do it 2 weeks before.
And in terms of where you've been, like I say, you've given a lot of opportunities to the younger riders coming through. You must spend a lot of time watching young talent.
I do. I mean, I'm based in California, so I see a lot of live stream, and in some ways I see more because there is no distraction when I'm watching, like last week's 5-star Grand Prix. We're sort of focusing on the three of us are here, but it should be pointed out for all of us, the behind the scenes. In our case, Lizzie Chesson runs the whole operation.
Yeah.
That's what's so important, because it's a very complicated sport to get all the pieces together at the right place at the right time.
And exactly what people don't see, and I can take Team Great Britain as an example as well. You know, the whole structure that is behind it.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just the days of you go and have a look down and go, that's who I'm doing this week. There's a whole infrastructure around that and support teams. And when you go to a championship, I mean, there's a lot of people involved.
Yeah. For sure. I think it would surprise an awful lot of the viewers to know exactly how many pieces there are to it and how many people are there to support everything, and of course all the supporters and donors that make it all possible.
And that again has been a model from other sports. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? I mean, you look as you say, you've got your team coach, but then you'll have your logistics team. So that's where that thinking's come. So we really have moved on. I mean, you're on Olympic squads, etc. It's changed enormously in the last 20 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But all sports have done that. Golf used to be different. The old guys that played, half of them were fat and over. Well, then Tiger Woods comes along.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods comes along, and then all of a sudden everybody has to keep up with him. Well, it's the same in our sport. You're seeing some amazingly fit athletes, not just the horses, but the riders now.
It's different, and that's, Erynn, what you're saying. I mean, the sport now is a different level. When you're on a team, though, how does that dynamic work? What's it like? I mean, we talked about, Kent and those winning there individually. What's special? What's different about this week?
I think it's the camaraderie. I think that we are lucky because, especially between Tiffany, Amy, and I, we have a friendship outside of individual show jumping and outside of team jumping. We've just become great friends over the years, spending so much time together. So I have to say, if it's somebody in a Grand Prix, I'm cheering for them the same way as individuals as I am as teammates. And I don't know if every team and every relationship is the same, but for me, no matter who or what class it is, if it's a Nations Cup or a Grand Prix, I always want Canada to be strong, and we're looking for clean rounds and great horses and big support. So for me, team riding is special, but I'm cheering for everybody the same week in and week out.
And on like this Saturday night, you don't just go and ride your round and then you go and sit away somewhere and that's it. How does it work?
I mean, this week is unique. We do the first round early, and we're required for team photos, so it becomes an event that basically starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and ends at 9 p.m. But when you have breaks in between, we're all sitting together in the riders' booth, maybe getting a water or having a story, playing a game on our phones. We're just kind of hanging out, talking about if the first round wasn't good enough, what can we do better? And if our first round was great, then hopefully we can maintain it in the second round. And we're quite good at helping each other talk about the time allowed. This is where this is where you have to make it up. This is where you can afford to waste a second. I think your horse could do this stride in this line. We really work together as a team. But I would say we're quite approachable as individuals. It wouldn't be different. Amy, I think you can leave out a stride in that line, whether it's a 5-star Grand Prix, a 4-star Nations Cup, or a championship. We're riding together all the time.
And that's the difference. I mean, in the sport now, Robert, and I've been involved with some of this with some of the teams, is they basically have team building sessions as well. You've got to go and spend some time together if you're working towards a big championship.
Yes. Like Erynn says, I mean, it just sort of comes naturally.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, back when I rode, we didn't have nearly as many Grand Prix, but you're all friends and you're out there helping each other. And if you come out of the ring and somebody says, hey, how'd that line ride? You're going to tell them. You're going to tell me because you expect the same thing.
Of course.
So I don't think you need super structured team building. It's sort of...
It's there.
It's there.
If you've got the right squad, it's there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel, from your point of view, like we talked about there, Ireland won again just a few weeks ago in Abu Dhabi in the Nations Cup there. They won in Ocala last year. They won here as well.
Do you have to keep pointing that out?
Do you want me to run through how many you've won?
It does, actually.
And which medals? No, anyway. Daniel, from your point of view, what's the secret sauce in there at the moment, do you think?
I don't think there's a secret sauce, to be honest. I think a lot of good riders and good horses all in form and they're winning all over the world. I honestly, my personal take on it is it's the beginning of the year and everybody's come out fresh and strong and some new horses, and I hope they save some for the Europeans this year.
We've got Europeans,
because that's the thing, we all win when we can, but aiming towards something's a little different.
But in the same way, I mean, you have your targets, you know, for the Europeans this year, and unlike Canada and the US, you'll be aiming at European Championships in Spain in July. So there's a different aim to maybe what these guys are looking at.
Yeah, for sure. That's the main goal for me this year, is to get there and get some of them medals you were talking about.
He can't beat you in the Europeans. It's fine.
We just beat him everywhere else. Don't worry.
We have some questions from viewers. There's the win from previously last year for the Irish last year from that point of view. Robert is mentally logging that as his determination.
Put it back again.
Let me see it again.
But all three teams represented here. We have some questions from those at home for you. Robert, we're going to start with you from that point of view. And one of them was talking about what team exercises do you tend to do most? When you've got the team together, what do you do with the team to sort of bring them together? Do you do, like you say, you're talking about coaching, anything? Nothing? Team talks? Do we have team talks?
Very seldom.
Okay.
Very seldom.
Okay.
Something has gone wrong if I have to do a team talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
More like an intervention.
There you go. And if I was going to do something really clever,
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell these guys what the talks are all about.
No, good.
So
Okay.
sorry, I'm not answering that question.
Perfect. That's exactly what it is. Which brings me on to my next question, which you can have a little bit of a giveaway. The question was, what does it take to be a great manager? To you, Robert.
Oh, to me again?
Yes, to you again. 3 to you. What does it take to be a great manager?
Well, longevity would be one. I got to be honest. These last three, Olympic quadrennials have probably been the most fulfilling part of my competitive life. I did it as a rider or whatever. And everybody says, "Well, that must have been." Yeah, it was great riding in the Olympics, but being in the team environment with some of the greatest athletes in our sport, either on our team and competing against them, is such a privilege. And I think it's taking every rider and every horse as individuals. Like I don't do a team walk and march around like a bunch of Boy Scouts behind me, because every one of them, and that's the beauty of team competition. I think it's similar to Ryder Cup in golf. We're an individual sport, which rarely does a team format. So these riders that have qualified for the team, they've done it on their own, through their own team.
Yeah.
So I think one of the keys is don't change what's worked.
Yeah.
You just pick 4 good horse rider combinations on purpose.
Yeah.
So let them shine.
Let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Right. Final question for you, Robert. What makes a horse a good fit for a team and a rider? So again, actually a little bit onto that question. What's the makeup of a good team horse and rider combination?
One that doesn't knock any jumps down.
Well, that's perfect.
That's simple. That's the beauty of an objective sport.
But if you could take the great team riders that you've had on Team USA in the last few years, who would be your real shining examples and why?
Well, I'm not going to answer that question. But I think the important thing, and this is true as a rider, is picking horses that fit your riding style.
Yeah.
I mean, we just saw Kent.
Exactly.
He knows exactly what kind of horse he looks for when they're young. That fits his riding style. And all the riders, all the successful ones do that. And I think that's the most critical part. And that's the beauty of a sport that involves 2 live animals.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew what kind of horses I was good on, and I knew what kind of horses I was horrible on.
And you hopefully went for
usually the
one.
ones that required a whole lot of flat work, which I didn't do enough of back then.
Great. Erynn, for you, there's a question, lovely little question for you. As she put it, from a little girl in Canada, what advice do you have to becoming an Olympian?
I think it's everybody's dream. When you start riding ponies or when you start at a low level, the big focus is the Olympics. It's everybody's dream.
Yeah.
There's so few people, if you think about it, that actually get to go. But you can never give up. I had a huge amount of team success in my early 20s. Then I rode hunters for 12 years because I didn't have the opportunity. I didn't have the horses. I didn't have the business structure. And I don't know, what year did I have Epicara? 2013?
That's about that, yeah.
Yeah, about that. My life changed again. I had one horse in the right moment that put me back on the international scene, and I've been flying ever since. So never give up. Don't think that you're not ever going to have opportunity. And at some point you have to make a choice that gives you that opportunity. For 12 years, my choice was to stay home and run a business and have a farm. And I got opportunity from Alon Furter, and I ran with it.
And now you're able to do both.
And Epicara got me there. Mostly I'm with Alon Furter now, but definitely home is a part of my life, and my parents still have a business and they still have clients, and I like to be a part of it. But if you see opportunity, you can't pass it up. You don't know if you're ever going to get it again.
Next question for you, Erynn, is when you step into the ring, what are you feeling and thinking? Let's take Saturday as an example. What are you feeling and thinking?
Saturday excitement. For sure there's a different pressure when you put the red coat on. I have this saying that when I wear black pants on a day off, I'm not disappointing anybody. You never have a bad day when you wear black pants. When you put white pants on, the pressure changes. When you put red jacket and white pants on, the pressure changes again. So you're not only riding for yourself, you're riding for your country, you're riding for your team, and that is the one thing that I took in at the Olympics that was so different and so special from any other thing that I'd ever done. I just pulled up before I started my round, and I was like, wow, today I'm not riding for me.
Yeah.
Today I'm riding for everybody that has ever cheered for me, and that is more than Alon and my parents and the staff that brings me horses every single night to ride. That is, the entire world had my back.
Wow.
That was super cool.
Well, that was actually going to, we can see you on the winning squad here, but it was going to lead me nicely into a question, which was, what's it like to ride out in the team jacket? But you've sort of answered a little bit of that.
It's pretty cool. When I first got my red coat, when I rode on the team in Calgary, and it was the first year that Canada had ever won the Nations Cup in 32 years, my dad took the red coat out of the box, and he pulled it up, and he looked at it, and he goes, "Man, you have no idea how much this jacket cost me." And the girl that was taking care of my horse was like, "I thought you got it for free." And he was like, "I've been paying for this jacket since 1980.
Very good.
Brilliant. Yeah. Daniel, from your point of view, a slightly unfair question, so I'll let you sort of manoeuvre around it a little bit. Who's your favourite team rider?
Oh, what a horrible question.
I'll let you go through a few different riders that you've ridden. Give me some of them that are really good to ride alongside. Let me rephrase it for you.
Listen, I have to say, Cian O'Connor is a brilliant man on the team. Also, I rode really successfully with Bertram, Shane Sweetnam. I mean, all these guys, to have any of them standing beside you, you know they're maybe not trying harder than you, but they're trying as hard as they can. And I couldn't name one, definitely not. But I love to have somebody standing beside me that really wants it as much as me.
Second question for you, Daniel. Coming off that subject, what are your favourite exercises to do at home with your horse?
Simplest exercise that I struggle with every single day, and I actually just went back to it a few weeks ago because I had eye surgery and my depth perception was way off and the distances were moving.
Why would you need that as a rider?
The jumps were moving. But one exercise I do a lot of is in a circle over a very, very small jump. I just feel like there's no such thing as the perfect circle on a horse, and I try every single day on every horse to do that over a very, very small jump.
Excellent. And in terms of looking forward to this week, big week ahead, Team Ireland. Let's get to the crux of it. Are we going to win again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that.
I'm going to let the others answer that one as well in a second. But before I get to that, let's take a look at what's coming up this week, because it is not just Nations Cup this week as well. And let's take a look at what is on the agenda all the way through the week. We've even got a class this evening for those competing. But tomorrow morning we're back in action with the WEF Challenge Cup as well. Week 8 of that, of course, Sunday Grand Prix. Saturday will be the Nations Cup as well. Thursday we also have the WEF Sport Horse Auction as well. Of course, no riding involved in that, but in the future that will be here on site as well. Some amazing horses there too. Friday sees us into our traditional Dog Technologies 145 class. The classic there on to Friday. U25s in the Brain Juice series are also starting to get going too, and they have their semi-final Grand Prix on Friday night. Yes, we've got 3 night classes this week. Saturday, $150,000 Nations Cup sponsored by Florida Coast Equipment, and Sunday, $200,000 JTWG 4-star Grand Prix, as previously won by Daniel Coyle, who's alongside as well. You can follow all the coverage of the International Ring, Derby Field, Hunters, and of course dressage as well into week 8 with the World Cup there as well. I think that's our 4th of the season now, the completed group. They're all on WellingtonInternational.com and the USEF network too. Thank you very much to my guests. I shan't ask you who's going to win, because Team USA are going to win, Canada are going to win, Ireland are going to win.
There's only one correct answer
and there's
for
only
all
one
three
correct
of us.
answer, and there's 6 other teams that it could be the correct answer as well. It remains to say thank you very, very much for joining me. Good luck this week, Robert.
Thank you, Stephen.
Good. Looking forward to seeing Team Canada into action. It'll be really fun. Ireland, pressure's on.
Not really.
Not really. Brilliant.
All right.
Daniel, have a super week.
Thank you
to all of you. Thank you for joining us. As I say, you can join us over the next few days for lots of big coverage of what's going on as well. Nations Cup on Saturday starts off in the afternoon with the first round, and then into the evening with the second round. All of that will be brought to you by our live streaming, and also we'll be heading on to ESPN as well for that. So look forward to that. Thanks to USCF as well, who have been brilliant supporters, presenting sponsor of our live stream throughout as well, in part with support of US Equestrian Federation and the USCF network as well. Dodd Technologies too, that bring our live streaming each week, your partner in engineering extraordinary experiences since 1983. And discover how they elevate sports, entertainment and corporate events at doddtechnologies.com. And thank you to, of course, Florida Coast Equipment, our presenting sponsor of the Nations Cup this week. You can visit them today, and a wonderful line of products there as well. It's Florida Coast Equipment, their trusted local dealer of choice too. Thank you to them. That's it from us right now. Thank you very much, my guests, for joining us, and so we wish them well for the week. 9 teams in action on Saturday. Make sure you join us. Nations Cup week. Who will lift the trophy? We'll see you then.